Hey guys, how's it going? Comparing here. So right now I'm pretty much a zombie, and I'm gonna tell you guys why that is. So I did my regular stream and stuff, and then I ended up doing another casting event, and I know I've done two of these back to back, and whoa, surprise! Yesterday's video was about casting a tournament as well. Wow. Well, there's no other casting that I have planned. The ESGN stuff I think is on a short hiatus, and I don't remember being invited to cast any other tournaments. Oh, except one. Okay, there might be another one, but I'll talk about that some other time later because there's no date or anything for that. Anyway, so today I casted a tournament for the 2P website, and I did so in the past with Trump, and it went all right. It was a bit difficult because, well, I did all the qualifiers and all that then as well, but this time around I was only scheduled to cast the finals. It's like, oh, good players, right? Well, yeah, I guess. And the way the tournament was set up was that on two occasions before today, there were qualifiers for the European and the Chinese side of things. And out of the Europeans, there were some people that you know. I don't know, one guy comes to mind, Sevi's, he was there. And those I didn't get to cast because during that time I was out to Easter and all that stuff, which you guys already know by now, hopefully. So instead, I agreed to cast the finals, and the only term for my agreement, I didn't really care, what I would get out of it. I just said, I don't want to do any of the setup for the stream because you have to do overlays, you have to do all that kind of stuff, and it's just not fun, I do this stuff because it's fun. Other people invite me because they have something to gain, and what I have to gain is, well, your feedback is pretty good, you guys enjoy it, and most of the time, it's pretty enjoyable. However, there are other times. So what happened today was I was supposed to cast with Chanman, and Chanman hadn't done the setup to this before. He was also scheduled to cast just the final, and he was setting up the stream for both of us. He was the one doing this, part of the agreement, of course. And it didn't really work out because he kept disconnecting. His Twitch stream kept dropping frames. So while this was going on, while he was trying to fix it, I was pretty much coming to the realization that, well, even though I really didn't want to set it up myself, in fact, it was the only thing I didn't want to do, probably should take the steps to. And this is about 10 minutes after we were supposed to start. So because I'm on a new computer, I had to get XSplit. So I got XSplit. And my XSplit license expired about a week ago, so I had to go through my stuff in the bedroom, find the authentication codes and stuff, so I had to buy XSplit. So I bought XSplit for this event, and I had to set it up. I was sent, like video files for commercials, image files for setting up the stream. I had to, position it so I could get the webcams for Chanman and I, and do all this stuff, make it work, make it somewhat pretty, make it functional, create the account, make sure I could log in, all the rest. I was essentially running a tournament, and I was starting to set up from scratch at a point where we were already late. And given that fact, some things went wrong. Like, well, it wasn't so smooth. Another one, the Chanman's microphone through Skype had some incredible static noise that he tried to get rid of but couldn't in time, so it went through anyway, and people were bothered in the fact that the stream was choppy visually. The FPS wasn't very high, and this is of course because, well, this is not DreamHack. This is not a place where this stuff is recorded locally through, professional hardware and then broadcast to the world. It's, to someone in their own house, streams themselves playing Hearthstone, and at the mercy of their internet and mine, I stream that to another source, while Chanman and I, or whoever else casting, talk about it. So there's some sync issues. Yes, it looks kind of bad. Nothing really I could do. Yes, it sounded kind of bad. Nothing really I could do. And, well, I wasn't too happy that I had to do it at all. So after a set, I asked Chairman to try it, and you know, he was kind of making it work, and from that point on it was a little bit easier. But all in all, other things that people witnessed were also a little bit interesting, were that often the sound would be pretty screwed up. The streams that we were viewing would go down a lot. I think we had to swap between streams. We had to wait for players to start. We had to wait for delays. All this kind of stuff, you know, throughout the entire tournament. And in the end, it was so bad that we would have to restream the polished stream of the Chinese tournament and then just talk over that. But because that one was, you know, streamed to China, the delay would be like 30 seconds. So one of us, Chairman or I, would see it first, and the other would pretty much have nothing to say because everything would already be said, or you know, you'd know exactly what happened ahead of time. So it's pretty much as if we were taking turns casting something that would be pieced together 1.5 games at a time, back and forth. You'd see turns ahead of time, and then that stream would drop, so you have to go to another one. Then you know, you'd pretty much see the same match that you've already seen once again, and well, that. And this whole thing lasted about 6 hours, and well, as you can imagine, I didn't feel so good. But honestly, in the end, I came to a state that I have come before, and I thought it's kind of at least something interesting. I'll wrap it up quite in a nice way because of how, you know, I react to these things. So many things went wrong. Pretty much everything that could possibly go wrong did. And as a result, you know, near the end, when the amount of things that, you know, just became a disaster was reaching such an unbelievable level, you know, I was actually, you know, laughing. It was hilarious. It was actually unbelievable that so many things happened this way. And in the end, at the very least, you know, the last hour, maybe half hour, I had quite a good time. And yeah, I've reacted to these things before. It's kind of like, I always picture it in my mind, the Family Guy episode where Peter like hurts his knee, and he, you know, he like kind of has this thing he says, and he's like in pain, and he says it like for like 30 seconds, and you can't believe this thing is still being shown, and in the end you find something so ridiculous, so agonizingly terrible, hilarious. So on some sense it's kind of interesting to objectify things that way. On another note, the tournament went fairly badly as well. Generally in Hearthstone you kind of see things split down the middle. You know, if it's, you know, 4 players playing 5 matches, it's going to tend to end 3-2 ESGN style, but well, not so much the case. As it turns out, the Europeans, through some means or some method or some kind of RNG or anything, managed to completely crush the Chinese players in this tournament. And well, as it turns out, while it's fun to see, you know, someone's soul being crushed in front of you on the internet, when it happens over a span of 5 or 6 hours, it's not quite as entertaining. Oh well. That's another casting story for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.